Oh, great question. Yeah. Honestly, I think recording this character.
Nerd Reactor, roll out.
Yeah, hi, kia ora.
Yeah, so Hualālai, Awhimai, you're in this. Yeah, Achoo! So, our first question, I want to talk about Get Lost, that song. It's about letting loose. Yes. And I want to know for you, each of you, that moment, like just in your professional career or this movie, where you felt like, oh, we're letting loose, we're finally finding ourselves.
Oh, great question. Yeah. Honestly, I think recording this character was probably the most bolsterous I had to have been at this point in time. I think, yeah, exploring her and just kind of leaving everything at the door and then stepping in the booth and being as crazy, silly, loud, soft as I possibly could, and then just leaving it there and waiting for Disney to kind of shape that into some sort of a scene. I reckon that's probably the moment for me.
Totally. I think mine was literally like 5 minutes into my first session. You know, I remember walking in there and just being kind of like scared, like
terrified.
Oh my gosh, like we're working with Disney, like all these, you know, working with Jared Bush, the founder of Zootopia, and Yvette Marino and all these people. And the directors did an amazing job of creating this world and creating this space for us, and then giving the freedom to get crazy and to get various with how we wanted to do any type of scene or any type of segment. I mean, Jared broke down that wall like immediately and got us to feel like so comfortable. Got me to feel
comfortable and comfortable.
Yeah, so comfortable.
Oh yeah. And, you know, speaking of comfortable, this will be the opposite of that for this question, because Moana 2, the song Beyond, and also just the story in general, is about going out of your comfort zone. And I was wondering if there's like a moment where you remember, I'm going to go out of this comfort zone, go out there, but then when you look at the final product, it's like, oh, this turned out pretty great.
I think, honestly, the press, you know, like, when, you know, growing up in Hawaii and growing up in the Pacific, you know, like we tend to be really humble and be really shame away from like the limelight, and I don't like talking about myself, you know, and everything, but you know, being able to quote unquote go beyond and preach about the movie and what it's done for our people and everything has touched so many people's lives and has inspired so many people to strive for the same things that we strive for. And by doing that, it shows that you can achieve so much. You know, you can if you go beyond the reef, if you go beyond your bubble, if you go beyond just your circle, you can achieve so much and honor back that circle in the process. What about you?
I just, that, and also to tag on to, you know, creating pathways, I think, for our kids is really important, and for them to be able to see this beautiful man and to see all of these to see all of these characters and to see parts of them reflected, I think, is pretty awesome. I was trying to think of a moment for me. Maybe when I left home quite early and I had the option of doing, I really wanted to do music and drama at high school, and I could only do one, I think. And so I went, well, I'd like to do music and drama somewhere else. And I found a polytechnic, like a musical theatre school. And so I just Googled it, and my mum said, if you can organise the trip down for the audition, then your dad and I will come. So I did, and then happened to get in, and that was kind of terrifying. So I think probably that moment in my life, which then in turn, I fell in love with musical theatre, and I fell in love with theatre, and then eventually screen, and now this family. So yeah, I think that moment for me.
All right, I think my last question I have to ask, because this leads up to another movie, and I don't know if you're excited or like what is that? What do you see yourself like that journey again, and the highlight for that?
Yeah. Do you mean about the little teaser at the end? Okay, great. Yeah. I like screamed in my seat and went, yes, let's see what's going to happen. I think it's really fascinating to see the relationship, at least between Matangi and Nalo, and to explore kind of the deal that was going on there. And then she thought she was free. Well, she is free, but now she's not. What's happening? And I would really love to see her explore a world with Moana instead of being so kind of toying with her so much. I think she could be a little bit more supportive in the next one.
Yeah, I think for me, you know, like I'm so grateful that everybody wants to see more of the story. I think
Yeah.
what I would love to see more from Moni is to actually see him build a relationship with Maui. You know, he's been such a fanboy on the outskirts of who Maui is this whole time, and right at the end of the movie, you actually see them kind of get along and start to build somewhat of a relationship. So to see how they can go back and forth and see the comedy that brings and the warm-heartedness that brings, that would be awesome.